Isn't that the best part about a brand new roster, or even just a brand new split? You have no idea really what to expect, what to come out from these teams. I think I'm a little bit on the bandwagon, the same as Jake there. I'm going to go for Mammoth because they have some big boys on their team, and if you try and square them up with my what's up bro geese, they'll probably one out of them.
I mean, yeah, Nick didn't ask us the question. I'm not going to predict who's going to win based off the players or the draft. I want Mammoth to win just because they are big boys. I want them on the couch next to Nick because I just want Nick to look small for once. Hey, he's a very tall man. That's
a bit of critical thinking there if I'd ever seen it, Rusty. Interesting bans. Fiora. Haven't seen any Fiora bans so far, but we have seen some Fiora gameplay highlighted by Chippies that put in a solid amount of work yesterday. But I think for the most part, we're going to see pretty standard bans, the likes of Akali Rumble, still coming on 24/7.
Yeah, Kweku loves himself some Fiora is some of the things that I have learned here. So we'll see how these two go against each other. Poppy's one of his favorite champions as well. So picking the Fiora against him could be a mistake unless you're Chippies. And you seem to be able to make that one work. We wait for the first pick here. As a second time in a row, they're going to go for the hover on this champion.
Just going to say.
Seeing some trends starting here from Gravitas. Are you I'm so excited for this game.
I know you were. And I memed you yesterday about it on the couch. I was like, oh, don't be so sarcastic, Rusty. You all know the first game's the one to look an eye out for. But there is an element of beauty, of grace, really.
Genuinely exciting. How many times do you watch a game of League of Legends? No idea who's going to win, right? No idea what it's going to look like.
Predictions are at the door. Set, however, has stepped on through that door. He's ready to get rowdy.
Well, that's actually a really nice start of the draft there from Mammoth. It seems like Set slipped through the cracks there when he definitely shouldn't. However, he wasn't picked or banned last game, so it's hard to say that for certain. Aphelios with the Set, however, a bit of brawling now going to be happening. We get some one-outs. An exciting time.
And it's an interesting interaction, right, with Set because of his ultimate. The fact that when it does slam dunk down, it does 40% bonus max HP of the target around. So you sort of, as a result, if you're Gravitas, not necessarily, but almost wanting to go away from a bruiser-heavy composition just to make it so that your center, as immobile as she is, can survive for as long as possible.
Ah, yeah, it's a double-edged sword, you know? You could go not bruisers, and then he's just going to punch you in the face, right? Because he's a bruiser. So that's not going to be how that works at all, unfortunately.
Rusty, you're defeating my point. Come on, I'm trying to bait people here.
We both know that's not a point.
Regardless.
You know what Set does do? You don't gank Set. It's like Mordekaiser when he hits level 6. You just don't go up there.
How annoying is it when he has full grit? You think you've got the execution? Oh, lol JK, big shield.
He just ults away. He just takes someone with him under the turret and kills you. So ganking him is very difficult from level 6 onwards. We'll see who he's against, however, in top lane and how he plays it out.
The first Echo, however, of 2020. I love Echo. Such a fantastic champ for me. Gets so rowdy. You're able to really exhibit some mechanics on that one and just rewind. I always find it hilarious, however, though, when they rewind back from base with their buy, just like a second teleport. That, for me, is the icing on the cake.
You don't see a lot of that anymore. Not nearly as much as you used to. But definitely still a cute little interaction you can get, especially once the cooldown reduction is there for yourself. Nevertheless, the Echo has been picked presumably into the jungle, I want to say, or at least as a flex with beats in mid, perhaps. The fact they're going to go for that one blind. Just a weird blind pick champion, generally speaking.
Very first Lee Sin ban. I'm just checking here. We haven't had a Lee Sin ban at all. So this is interesting, trying to deny a few of those away. Ornn disabled as well. No scaling. You highlighted it before about how much impact it can really give you.
I feel like there was a Lee Sin ban last game.
Was there?
I think so.
But Lee Sin was played.
Oh,
Lee Sin was played. Yeah, sorry. I was like, are you making me seem like I haven't had my caffeine today? It's a choke. It really is a big choke out here on the junglers. With Olaf now being taken away as well. So game on Mammoth to try and switch things around here.
Cassiopeia taken away with the Ornn as well. Ornn, the tank, the engage tool from the top lane is going to be removed. So you have to see the options that they're going to go towards. A ranged champion, usually the free win against the Set in top lane. Pick something like a cannon. How's he going to catch you? So there's going to be an option. However, that's not the way they're going to go.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like they'll be playing for the lanes, more so for the teamfight action itself. We highlighted it yesterday with how strong Mordekaiser's ultimate can be, denying somebody out there in that death realm. Not going to be a fun lane from, however, so it's whether or not he can play it passively and keep himself in.
There is one player in this game who played in the OPL last year.
Isn't that exciting?
Renekton as well. So they have gone the bruiser approach.
They have.
That does mean that the Echo will also be the jungler.
I did wonder when we started to see the chokehold going out onto the two most commonly seen junglers if it was going to lead to that.
Not that Elise is a bad pick by any means. It's just not going to be a hard farming jungler. Lots of kill threat is something that the Elise provides. And now when you look at the rest of Mammoth's composition, with a Camille now to round out the comp, you've got a Nautilus in the bot lane as a support as well. Suddenly you find yourself in this position where really Elise can go to all three lanes and really make things happen early. And I think that's a very exciting prospect now for the side of Mammoth. Even in mid lane, that's not the easiest lane to gank when it's a set and his engage to enable you is actually just to run at someone. They can just walk away. But an odd mid lane matchup, isn't it?
It is. It's definitely not something that you see every day. But as you quite rightly point out, all three lanes for the side of Mammoth have mobility, so the ability to get in there, follow Elise, who already innately is the arachnid that we love and see, and we had it even on our doorstep this morning, so maybe it's a bit of a good luck charm for them.
I hope we never see that spider again.
That's the first one I've seen since I come here.
They are scary.
Are those the ones that can poison you?
Nah.
They're
No,
harmless?
that's harmless. It's just big and furry. No one wants a spider.
It's
that's
intimidating,
big and
basically.
furry. Yeah.
It always beats me how people have like pet tarantulas just crawling up their arms. How? Regardless, here we go. Gravitas taking on Mammoth. Gravitas have gone for the composition that says, we want to be tanky, almost like protect the Puma. Almost like we're out in the wildlife.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, both teams losing their games yesterday, but still a couple of positive moments to be able to take away from those games for both respective teams. So very interesting to see what happens when they collide today.
All right, well, we do have Gravitas' manager on standby once again. Thank you so much for joining us. We come into this one. It's been highlighted as a match to keep your eyes on. What's the energy, I suppose? What's the feeling in the camp right now for Gravitas?
It's all right. The guys are pretty hyped. We're not too disappointed after yesterday, given Order's standing is pretty high up in the league, so we're not too disappointed. We just want to take whatever matches we can, and we're looking forward to taking this one as well.
And you guys are in a rebuilding phase, as you discussed yesterday,
Yes.
with opportunities being there for the new players. How are the subs watching in the back? Are they looking to help the team during the game yesterday?
They're pretty hyped. We had a couple subs come by yesterday who were watching the game as well. Mainly, we're just looking for scrim opportunities for these new guys before we put them on stage as well, though. So it's going to be a while. It won't be that quick.
Okay.
Okay. I suppose leading into that question, to follow it up a little bit further, are we looking at accentuating certain players, be it are there vastly different play styles between some of these substitution roles?
I would say mostly champion pool, but I don't want to go too into depth for that right now. Yeah, but it's mostly about champion pools.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, I suppose we come into this one. Obviously, it's the first set we've seen. Have you guys had a chance to explore what set's about and how to go against it?
We had some experiences playing set top and playing against set top. Set mid is kind of a new one. It's not something we weren't expecting, but at the same time, we don't have practice against that. So I'm excited to see how this one will play out.
And it looks like your composition as well is pretty well designed to just be individually strong.
Yeah.
What is it that you are looking for as a team in this game against Mammoth? How do you want to beat them?
Well, mainly, same thing as yesterday. We're looking to set up our mid jungle. We're looking to set up our bot lane. Puma, we're hoping that he has some opportunities to pop off today. It was a little bit rough yesterday, but hoping with a good mid jungle to bot side, we can maybe help Puma accelerate this game.
Beautiful. Alrighty, well, we'll leave you to it. All the best. Good
Thank
luck.
you.
And we'll catch up with you after the game.
Making the man handshake with a mic and a notebook.
I know, that's a multitasking
He's
man.
done well.
Ever the credit, ever the beautiful person. Let's crack on into this one here, Rusty.
A little bit of action happened earlier as well. Both top laners met each other in the bush in a river and just had a biff. Nothing really doing from it. A lot of extra health there for Kweku, however, and threat in the lane. He has the adaptive shield just from auto attacks, and at level 1, he's looking to threaten and push him away from the waves. So in a pretty good position overall. It's a lot of priority, actually, more than anything else, which means if I was Bass, I'd probably use that to go from the red, maybe look towards a top aggressive scuttle, if not an invade.
I think it's going to be interesting, really. We talk about mechanics and exuding that sort of in the last game. I think in this one, you talk about, obviously, the individual strength. It's how that all comes together. I really want to see if this composition can survive the onslaught of the pick potential because, Mammoth is definitely set up for that. Whether or not they can display that level of confidence through their positioning and their vision, that is to be seen, as Elise is on the hunt. There is a skirmish that's taking place right now as both hit full Conqueror stacks. So we're going to see a flash to get this one. We are. Double flash is the play.
Oh.
That spider won't do it, but it definitely will tickle him.
Lots of good damage still forcing him away. Flash for flash is a trade that you will take if you are the Elise, because now you can stay in the area. Does look for the invade, threatens further onto Praelis, has the smite as well, and wins the smite battle for his health.
Dark Harvest up against Electrocute right now. Chronosphere coming on down. A beautiful repel to make sure she doesn't get taken out of that. But out comes Kweku now. It's a 2v2. Praelis is the one to get involved. And that's going to be the 1-for-1 when it comes to top laner for jungle. But it's all just like that. Buff transfer complete. Renekton says thank you.
Oh, buff transfer complete for only one of these teams. Unfortunately, there the Renekton gets it. Liv not able to get to the fight nearly in time at all. So he's just going to push the wave, try and get the reset off, and he's not even allowed to clear that last minion. Renekton in a pretty comfortable spot now with the kills and with the buffs.
Double buffs up against the likes of a set. Should make things rather interesting.
And that's a big deal because he was behind in quite a lot of farm. So being able to get to the rotation first, make the play first, and get the kills, keeps himself up in this lane in gold.
Facebreaker into the slam dunk. I'm looking forward to seeing how much of a threat really this set can become and whether or not his ultimate becomes a hindrance or a utility tool that they can well utilize. But that invades. I think dividends really for Gravitas. Maybe that's something they're looking to capitalize on, is the confidence and the mobility that Mammoth have, looking to then try and pick on that.
Currently using beats as priority that he gets in lane as well to go for further invades. Praelis being very aggressive through the enemy jungle. We'll see where Bass goes. Again, it's a good temperature check on these younger players, these newer players. How do they read the map when you don't have perfect information? They don't see what we see.
Now Kweku is blind. Is he going to open things up here with a gank? We're going to get a drag back to start things off with. Praelis is on the hunt. He's quite low, nobody. And it's going to be the repel and jump on out. As Kweku's falls back to his tower. Does have both summoners available, so quite happy if need be. He can always just reset and come back. As Bass keeps up his pressure. And looks to try and do some counter jungling of his own.
And saving that hookshot was actually really important there from Kweku. You know, if you're playing Camille, you want to hit the hookshot because you get attack speed after it connects. That's how you get the kill there onto nobody. But he respects his opponents. He knows that Echo is on the top side of the map and he's able to play accordingly. Still has a good trade and saves the hookshot to get himself out to safety once the Echo appears.
Big reason why Vision is so important, because with Praelis shoving top, instantly Mammoth say we're going to go for this Drake. Mountain Drake at that. K-pop being very, very adventurous there, looking to try and chuck out some candy to get that one, but he's no Babip Jr.
No, he's not able to get the steal. Unfortunately, he just has a door. Nothing to do any damage with a Braum standing in front of you to prevent that damage from going down. Taking a look at bottom lane as well, it feels like a fairly even lane overall. Nautilus needing to reset means that this wave will push towards Styled, and once this wave does crash, if Styled's able to collect it, he'll probably have himself a decent lead in terms of farm. There's a pretty big wave building.
Yeah, farm seems to be the big one, especially for Mammoth so far. Obviously, as you say, there's an advantage in the bot lane soon to be acquired, but mainly through mid and top. You spoke about how rough it was going to be for the Mordekaiser there. He's falling far behind, at least 15 CS at this stage. A Phage in hand as well makes Kweku a bit of a powerhouse. Someone that, as soon as they are 6, can definitely look for those fights on a constant basis.
Speaking of, top.
He jukes on at that initial grab back, spawns the ultimate, says hello, Death Realm instantly onto Bass to try and buy him some time, get him some health, get some regen.
Oh.
Now, I don't know if he's going to go for this 2v1, but he does survive, and that's the most important thing.
And it's very hard to gank a Mordekaiser once he hits level 6. That's just the fact, and now Bass shows his hand, comes to top lane, loses half of his health, and has to walk away. You can see the Renekton actually coming up to top lane as well. Mid lane's crashing, so in terms of timing, a little bit awkward. No teleport available from nobody either to collect that middle wave. And it's a lane swap from the bot lane coming towards mid to collect what they can. So a map shift up one lane, you would say, from Gravitas respectively, just to kind of collect themselves and get back into the map state after Bass ganks top.
Yeah, Beats really wasn't having a good time in that mid lane there. He's up against a tabbied up set, opting for those brawls 24/7 versus his only single Tiamat. So he was opting for push and opting for the ability to stick around and try and dissuade, I suppose, Lived.
And Set is a great champion, isn't it? It's just so simple. You know, whether he's balanced or not is aside to the point. He is a simple champion. He has fists, he runs forwards, he punches you. You know what he does. He has spells with great names. Haymaker, Facebreaker, like you just know what he does. I really like that, the champion in League of Legends. And it just so happens he does a lot of damage right now as well.
Be looking forward to seeing that massive ultimate come out, the crowd pleaser if you will. Round 2. It was in the top lane originally, now it's in the bottom lane. The shield from Puma is actually proving to be clutch, but is it clutch enough? He's going to go for the slam dunk. Lived picking up that kill in the bottom lane.
Yeah, hits the showstopper, locks them down. Lived able to get the kill eventually after the flash was used by nobody. Still able to keep that after the gank that happened towards him in top lane, but repeat offender Bass is going to try and find the mark time and again, and it's very successful this time. The trade is there from Gravitas in the way of a Herald, who may be able to summon this one straight away if they want the plates. But you can see that Nausicaa is moving up to defend if that was the case.
Yeah. Praelis seems to be hanging on to this one for a few more moments, deciding where he's going to opt to try and place that one in and actually secure a tower. So not rushing this one, which I like. The patience is there. If you can crash this lane in, especially with Kweku going back. Does have teleport, however. Would allow him to open things up a little bit more.
I wanted a Fiesta.
It seems a little bit too calm and composed so far, doesn't it?
That's okay, we got set. No one can complain.
The real fun will take place in mid-game, I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely. There are a bunch of bruises. First item spikes is going to be a big thing to look towards. Someone like a Kweku on the Camille will always want to have that Trinity Force when he can with the Tiamat. Once he has those items, it's going to be really difficult to deal with. And he is so far ahead of this Mordekaiser. It hurts to talk about.
It's, yeah, we're starting to get quite close into nearly triple digits. Obviously double at this stage, but it's been creeping away from him. And you talk about power spikes for bruises, you're looking for that massive 2-item power spike with the likes of a Trinity Force and a Sterix as well. You have all the shields, all the tenacity, all the ability ready to say, I will punch on, I will be set ×5.
A very good time being that. Yep, definitely still looking for very similar item spikes. And I think a key point there is that it's about timing. Like the side of Mammoth, because they are Trinity Force users in their solo lanes, they'll have item spikes at the same time. So they'll actually be very empowered, all coincidentally at the exact same moment. If they choose to take fights, that would be a great time to do so.
Now, Gravitas have spawned this through with Dragon just about to spawn, so they're timing us out with what seems to be a rotation and a priority towards this one as they spot out Bass, who's in so much trouble. Does have the flash, mind you, and does manage to knock himself away, but that's not where the action is right now. Recall comes across. It's Kweku trying to emit as much pressure with that CS lead as he can. He's going to fall on down to the man known as K-Pop. Now it's looking great for Gravitas, strong as they are in a 4-man spot. Can they do the damage? The Facebreaker, Rusty. That's what makes Set so strong. 2 boys to his side. He smashes and he stuns. It looks so good for Gravitas, but it might just be Mammoth that turn things around as they're going to finalize this kill onto surely nobody. Double kill, redemption. It's the Clown Fiesta.
Set shows up. The show stops. They're able to get the turnaround team fight there, Mammoth, and it does go very well for them in the end. Teleports come in for the Ocean Dragon as well. It was rough at the start, definitely was, but once all 5 members of both teams got there is a clear difference between the strength of this Mordekaiser and the strength of this set. Teleports for a Gravitas, however, they want to contest it.
They do indeed. Smite is not available for either jungler, which makes this even more questionable, but the fight will persist. And this is such a sad time for nobody.
Stop running away from him.
He's like, literally, I need boots. I haven't bought them. I'm trying to get my passive some value, but Kweku just simply walks away and goes, lol, what?
He went blasting wand after an arm guard.
Where are the boots, Rusty? Where are the boots?
Well, unfortunately not to be found. Now, this fight does start with Bass being out of position, but very well, he's able to get himself out to safety using the repel and getting to the blast cone. So super lucky that that was available for him. Now, of course, Kweku goes into the fight aggressively, and it looks really bad here until Liv shows up, hits the showstopper, and locks them all down with a massive W as well. So very good stuff there mechanically coming out of the set. At this moment, Mordekaiser sees the chance to use the ultimate, but Bass has Cocoon, he has Repel, he has all of the spells available to him, and so much time was purchased. And during all of this time, of course, Starwood has been free hitting, doing the best that he absolutely can, and so they get the return.
Yep, Starwood had absolutely no pressure on himself, but in a narrow corridor like such, I think that really is the spot you want to be as a set. very, very easy to land pretty much all of your abilities, to say the least. So Set is on the board, and he is packing a punch on his debut.
I want to say nobody's on notice. I expect boots. I want boots.
He's got a bounty, Rusty, so...
Both solo laners are physical damage. It's not a bad decision to get some tabbies.
Put the poster up. Where are the tabbies? Wanted.
Oh, that's a lot of gold. Ridiculously good position, actually, is Mammoth. Particularly through their side laners and solo laners, they have great opportunities to just win the game through Kweku. He can just 1v9 the game right now with the lead that he has. And really, Mammoth should just let it happen.
Yeah, you can see it there from the gold comparison, especially in the top lane, or what originally was the top lane. A significant 1,500 gold lead across in his favor. Turret plating has now fallen at the 14-minute mark, and Gravitas are stubborn in their attempts to try and take down this mid lane tower.
Not many other places for them to be just yet, Gravitas. With such a heavily losing bottom lane right now, not the bottom lane players that are in mid, but the Mordekaiser versus Camille, you can see the vision and priority that Mammoth have through that side of the map. Gravitas have done the correct thing. They've gone towards the other side of the rift to get some control, maybe get some picks through that. Where good Cocoon will at least prevent that.
That's a beautiful Cocoon, because Praelis was definitely ready to jump into that one. With Rev up as well, we would have had a lot of uptime, a lot of ability to try and lock you in place and get some procs. But as the objective spawns, they go straight towards the Rift Herald and say, we need a condition of some sort to try and break open this map and find those picks, find those engages. This is a composition that can phase check brushes, and we want to have that freedom to express.
Yeah, they just catch Mammoth on the reset. So they're able to get themselves the free Rift Herald, no problems whatsoever, no contest available, no teleport from Kweku as well on that Camille. So even though he was missing on Summoner's Drift, they knew that he wasn't going to be there to contest.
Best has picked up the Dark Seal, so feeling pretty confident with his scoreline so far, sitting at 4-2-1, and wants to amplify that a little bit further. His ability to survive and emit damage that has definitely been rivaling that of what this Mordekaiser can do. Those are the tabbies. We've got some boots online. Maybe that passive, that spin to win, Death Trail Particle, Love Life.
Mordekaiser's passive? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, it's going to spin around the particles. It's going to be like a dust storm. It's going to be fantastic. It's actually going to do stuff now.
Yeah, well, he'll be able to move faster, and that's pretty important, and he'll survive more, which is also very important. Now, I will say their opponents have got the item spikes that we were talking about earlier, so if ever there was a point where they want to start to make something happen on the map, it would be right now, utilizing the Trinity forces of both respective solo laners. Not to mention Styled has got himself the Essence Reaver and the Zeal on top of that.
So significant leads for Mammoth so far in the item department, whereas Gravitas are licking their wounds and picking up objectives. They need to pick up
They're
turrets.
teleporting mid.
But Mammoth say enough is enough. Now is our time to shine. We're going to force that fight. We're going to make it happen. Puma starts off with the ultimate, and it is going to be good because it does actually take out Camille, so Power Spike or not, they will survive. It's a 1-for-1 trade. It's going to be Elise to carry on things. Picks up one of those Dark Steel sacks. Oh. They tried to go for the second Trinity Force member, but quite honestly, in a 4v5 situation, that's really good for Gravitas.
Yeah, I mean, you take that. That was a pretty adventurous teleport choice there from Mammoth. The engage was very early by Kweku. No teammates really around him, so they're just able to murder the Camille on the way through. You definitely take those if you're Gravitas. Feeling very good about that one. You've got Dragon coming up very soon as well, and with that advantage in numbers, knowing once again, if they have the timers of the Camille, he can't get there straight away. They look towards the objective.
This seems to be the theme so far for Nobody and Co. If I'm not strong on my own, then we are strong as one. Picking themselves up the second Drake. And back to the farming game. And that's what they need to really work on. They need to unlock those power spikes themselves. We're talking Zhonya's, we're talking Proto Belts, which now has come online, which is a big power spike for the Echo as well.
Yeah, Praelis is actually a pretty big force in this game with the items that he has now completed. We'll be doing a whole host of damage. Kind of makes up for the fact that the Mordekaiser is so far behind and is yet to complete an item. Having 2 full completed items for yourself, Praelis, will be able to carry the team fights, especially if those big stuns connect. But his respective opponent on the other side, Bass is 5-2.
Yeah.
Has got the flat magic penetration there as well. No slouch when it comes to damage.
Definitely 2 burst mages that will get the job done. He dashes on in, followed by the Protobelt. The flash to try and get that stun. Lived is a tanky boy though. He does have that Tiamat with the Merc Treads. He's going to survive for a very long time. Down to half. It's buying time for Bass to come on in. Crit comes across. The shield is there. It's a 1v3. He will survive just a little bit longer. Now does Bass do the unthinkable? Does he try and pick up a
He's
straggler?
already done the unthinkable. He's there. He's going to run away.
He's just run away, Rusty.
There's 3 of them.
What is that?
Oh, he's not running away. He's back.
He's toying with them. He's in the river.
Goalkeeper Bass stops them from getting to mid lane, I suppose.
He's even he's just laughing. At this stage, he knows what he just did was so chaotic, but
yeah, he wasted flash.
He loves it.
That's what he did. Ah, League of Legends.
Isn't it great?
This is what I wanted.
You did want it, and you're getting it right
Yeah.
now.
I can't complain. I'm not allowed to complain. I anticipated this match from the day I knew it was happening.
To see how hesitant Mordekaiser is to show face in that lane. He knows if he ever goes up against Kweku, he's going to have a rough time, forced to sort of be the secondary jungler, if you will, and wait for those waves to crash on in. He's going to be playing off teleports, it would seem, at this stage.
You can see the respect that they were giving the set. Multiple people having to go up there to look to kill him at all.
Yep.
Braum being very good at locking him down. And speaking of locking down,
the depth charge to try and collapse onto that one, and that is one dead Puma. He is gone, and there is no question about it. The Glacial Fissure to try and turn things around isn't going to be enough right now. So a fight takes place in mid. A fight takes place on the side. We're going to the river. We are getting natural geographic about it. We want things to happen, and we will see things happen. The flash, the stun, the damage, it's done. Nobody is happy with that one, but how much longer can he survive? Nausicaa is so low in the background. Multiple members of Mammoth are low, and it's Echo and a Dream.
in the end, they hardly survive a couple of the members from Mammoth, but they do get that team fight victory. It felt very disjointed from their opponents in Gravitas through that fight. Something that we'll have to look at closer in the replay. But overall, what matters is they get control of the map. They get control of the correct side of the map as well, as the Baron has spawned. And they get that free reset with a whole host of money going into those pockets, including Bass, who took away that extra shutdown at the very end of the fight. We'll see it here. It's Nausicaa that engages, just a flash ultimate. Always going to lock him down. And the fact that he's always going to be locked down means that Kweku just gets the free kill easy as you'd like. Nobody's going to take Styled out of the fight. Praelis is smacking people, but then he decides to flash away. And he's just gone. While Beats is in the fight, nobody's slaying people. And Praelis is just kind of observing it. And now nobody's in trouble. He's going to get slammed back in. Just give the kill to Live Man. Bass locks that one up.
An open platform, maybe a different story, but that proved to be the winning case there. You get to see the amount of resources chucked in to get him off the bat, and he was just one tap. He was just deleted. Glacial Fissure or not, it didn't seem to be enough.
Oh, that's 4 people.
Second time's the charm. They did it on set. Now they want to do it onto Camille.
I don't know if
Can they
can
get the
even catch him.
engage? Mammoth are laughing at this one. They're incredibly happy with the fact that they've just
Yeah, he's
committed
teleporting
4
up to the
members down.
Baron.
They're saying, you've come for me. Let me just pick up a Baron. The team has started it. It's down to 9k health. Beats on the flank. Do they have vision? I can't see a ward. There's a control wall behind
Nobody's
Baron's
been
head.
heavily chunked. He may die.
3k and falling. Beach jumps in. It's very early at that. Dominus has been popped. He's trying to do some damage. Can he do it? Yes, he can right now. As they find one, at least he's gone. That's no smite. Praelis doesn't have smite either, but it doesn't seem to matter. Gravitas say you try and force the initiation, and we will deny it.
That was such a... Oh, God. Kweku is in trouble as well. The Q actually missed. He's still dead. Another kill for Gravitas. They locked down most of Mammoth, but it was Mammoth's decision to teleport towards that Baron. And the idea was fine in principle, but their opponents got there. They still took the fight, and they were very much punished for it. Now, ball's in the other court. Styled and Nausicaa are here while the Baron is being done.
Not a single ultimate is available, nor is a summoner. The only flash, as well as a heal that's available, is for Puma, who does actually jump in to try and make things happen. They want to take this man down, and they do. A beautiful chronosphere there from Echo to start things off with. Now they're going for Nausicaa, double kill at that. 6, 2, and 8. Can they finish the Baron? Well, it has reset, Rusty.
Do you reckon he goes in? Do you reckon he goes in?
surely.
Nah, they're going to the Infernal Dragon. They're going to leave the Baron. Finally, someone gets the advantage. Two people poking their heads around the top side of the Baron bit. Not going to be enough to deter them. They just die. And the Baron goes down.
Chaos unfolds. It was a slow and composed game, but as it's gone on, we are seeing glimpses of magic.
We get to look at this one more time. It was a really nice stun actually from Puma, flashing forwards with the W, splitting the gap effectively where Nausicaa was playing goalie, and then Prayless able to follow that up. Nobody's dead.
That's the quickest play-by-play I've ever heard.
Nobody's dead.
And nobody's dead.
I stole your job. I shouldn't do that actually. My job would be in jeopardy. The trajectory
You're going to do the
of
one-man
OPL
cast?
play-by-plays.
I'll sit back here and I'll just do the Twitch clips.
I'm no Rivington.
80 CS differential. No matter what Mordekaiser can do, be it a threat or not.
And they're running it down mid right now with a Baron buff. All their opponents have decided bottom lane is the place to be, and they're winning. Very much winning. Those recalls got cancelled just by being looked at. And they break the tower in bot lane.
They say thank you very much. It seems like Mammoth are the ones in the driving force. It definitely feels like they're the ones playing proactive so far, able to sort of command Gravitas' response. Whether or not that's always the right decision or if it pays off dividends, that's another question, but the other ones that are setting themselves up with some win conditions, like an open inhib in bot lane.
Bass is doing one of those, it's not an explicitly bad thing, but he's doing one of those solo queue strategies where he has one place that he knows can win. And if you know it works, why not do it, you know? So he's just sitting in the side lane now. He's picked whatever the Mordekaiser lane will be because he knows that wins. And he's just trying to end the game through staying there permanently. While the rest of Gravitas have said mid lane, vision, get some control, try and break something down. They did it so slow that they were able to actually just break the base.
Now it is worth highlighting during all that 2 Quicksilver sashes have been picked up, and that of Camille and Aphelios. So primarily going to be looked to try and deny themselves being the Death Realm target there from Mordekaiser, breaking it before the animation goes off.
Yeah, and that Morello's Elise not going to have the zone used to stay alive in that Death Realm, so I don't think the Mordekaiser will be too miffed as they are going on beats.
They are indeed. It's a 1v3 situation right now with Dominus popped. He's looking to try and get as much lifesteal and health back as possible. He's popped that random and he's slowing the boys on down. Kweku's in trouble and Kweku's gone. Power spike or not, it is soon to be destroyed. Moonlight Vigil coming across. It almost seemed to tickle the members of Gravitas as they turn things around. Gravitas finding the upside of this one. They are chasing on through. Prayless with the smite. He's got the damage. It's a double. It's the boys. And it's only Bass and himself to survive.
And he's got a Prayless trying to hunt him down. He's going to change his mind. Just push mid lane. Utilize what is left of that Baron while you have it. They had the vision set up. They get the pick that they're after. But they get the pick because Mammoth go on them. And Beats is just unkillable on this Renekton. And that works so well for them.
They're going for this one, Rusty. Mid and hips down. Respawn time is at least 5 seconds and onwards. The first tower falls. Now we work on towards the second. They're getting clomped on down. They find Kweku. There's the core. It's dangerously low.
They want
They're
the
going
end.
for it. They're looking for it. The core is falling on down. 10% and going. That's GG. And Gravitas take the win in 26 minutes.
Closer than they would have liked their Gravitas with ending the game, but they do get it. They get the victory, and it comes through getting the picks in the jungle. Again, you can know the calm, measured expertise of a player like Prayless is able to tell them to slow down, set up in a place, and that's all it took, really. The one remaining OPL player from either of these squads in 2020, and he is the one that gets the victory in the Battle of the Rookies.
You have to wonder if he was that guiding hand to say, look, let's keep calm and composed, because those lanes were looking shaky for the most part. There were power spikes that Mammoth achieved before them. They were winning those 1v1s. They were winning those trades. They were getting the objectives. But Gravitas always seemed to defeat the team fights. They always seem to just take those advantages.
This entire game, Skibby, was whoever went first lost. If you
definitely
tried
seemed that way.
something, you lost it. So there was a team that went for Baron. They lost it Baron. The last team fight was going on beats, engaging on their opponents. They lost the game. It just continued to happen the entire time.
And I really wonder how that starts to play on your mental, where you feel like, you know, if you're trying to drive home a strategy, if you're trying to be the one setting up a condition and making them play your game, if it's not working against you, how that plays up definitely can't be a good feeling. Regardless, there's some good feelings on this couch. We got Nick. and he's getting himself ready as we clomp ourselves back into the analyst desk.
I'm trapped in a nightmare of wires. There we go. We got some answers. We got some answers for today.
No, we did. Absolutely. I think that was a really interesting game. I think very unique compositions because both teams ran like kind of double bruises, right? And I think that is always going to be difficult to do. Nick is just making some weird hand signals off camera, and I can't deal with it. Anyway, so yeah, I think that was a fairly intriguing game to me, especially in draft.
Well done.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
an
you.
elder statesman now on your team.
Yeah, for some reason. I don't know. It happened randomly, but somehow I'm the veteran.
How does it feel?
Yeah, it's good. It's pretty new because I've always been the new one coming into a team. But now I have to like take on the veteran, I guess. So it's pretty new and difficult. I think people would know me as like a pretty shy person, so it's hard to like transition, but I think so far it's been pretty good.
As far as shyness goes, your shoes definitely aren't shy.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a real statement.
Yeah,
Are they off the marketplace, or were those ones brand new?
No, they were a gift from my girlfriend, but yeah, I would never buy it
A
full
gift from a
price.
girlfriend.
Yeah.
Keep her.
That is insane.
Well, actually, I think she wants to keep you, given the shoes.
True.
So talk to me about Echo Jungle. Because
Yeah.
I thought Echo Jungle sucked at Worlds, and then I turned out to be right because it won 0 games. But you're still playing it, so why do you like Echo Jungle?
So like they're a pretty solo queue team. Like I knew going into that game, like it's not going to be a real like competitive game, I guess, like in the state where everyone's farming. And I know I can get away with an Echo Jungle pick, and I'm like pretty confident I can just take over the game and carry it. I
Well,
guess.
you definitely did that. And so talk to me about then how you are approaching it. Because you said, a little bit more solo queue style, a little bit scrappier. Does that free up your play style? Or do you think that as the split goes on that you're going to have to go back to playing a more controlled competitive style?
I think it goes team to team, like against like a better team or like a stronger like top like legacy or something. I think it'll be a really difficult. They'll just punish the Echo, but I think it goes team to team, and yeah, we're just gonna see like whatever happens.
Are you still doing the rotating jerseys?
No, it's just the Thunder jersey, I believe.
The Thunder
Yeah.
jersey? It's still, but it's one of the designs from last year?
Yeah, one of the-
Did you get to pick it?
No,
Because you're
I-
the elder statesman?
I wish, but
Okay.
no.
I just want to get you some advice. Because of that, you now have an immense amount of power within the organization, not just amongst the players, but among management as well. So I want to see you flexing that power as much as possible throughout the split. So I look forward to, everyone has to have Payless on their name, back of their shirts or something like that. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Feels good. It's good to have you back. It's good to be back. And we'll be back right after this short break.